And so while you can't choose your seat companion on a flight you're kind of dreading, you can choose the fake boyfriend to bring to your family's Christmas, which is what Olive essentially does. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren, and today I'm reviewing Baggage Claim by Juliana Smith. It's a really cute rom-com Christmas romance book. It's Christmas spirity. It's adorable. I really liked it. Let's just get into it. So Baggage Claim is available on Kindle Unlimited. If you have that, if you subscribe to that, I believe it's $11.99 or $12.99 a month now, but it's a really great deal. And all of Juliana Smith's books are on Kindle Unlimited, last I checked, last week. Baggage Claim is a chance meet cute, like they almost always are, with hottie ski instructor Finn, who just adores Christmas, is all about it, and Olive, who is essentially a Grinch, and she has some bad memories between Christmas and visiting her family in recent years. So she's flying back from Palm Springs, Florida, where she lives, or where she hightailed it to 3 Christmases ago. And Finn is getting back from visiting his retired parents who moved from Aspen, Colorado to Palm Springs for retirement, and they had to celebrate early because they're going on a cruise. So they're both flying back to Aspen for different reasons. So this whole chance meet cute between Finn and Olive essentially becomes a Christmas miracle, and they realized it's the perfect opportunity. And so while you can't choose your seat companion on a flight you're kind of dreading, you can choose the fake boyfriend to bring to your family's Christmas, which is what Olive essentially does. So one of the tropes that's in this book is golden retriever boy meets grumpy girl, or Grinchy in this case. And so it's a kind of reverse of the typical like grumpy sunshine that you think of, because Finn is just so optimistic and fun, and yeah, he's had his hard stuff, but like he's fun and happy and looking on the bright side of life always. And Olive is just haunted by everything in her past from 3 years ago. She had a great childhood, but the relationship with her sister is a bit complicated. So for the duration of a 4 or 5 hour flight from Florida to Colorado, Finn becomes determined to help Olive fall back in love with Christmas. And it's so cute. Olive gets a little bit drunk at the beginning on their airplane ride, and by the end he says, hey, what if I'm your fake boyfriend for your parents, because your parents think you have a boyfriend because you told them that, so why not let me be your boyfriend? And she goes, horrible idea. He tries to convince her, horrible idea still. And then he surprisingly shows up at her family dinner later that night, and they have to play it off. Super cool. She already made up an excuse for why he's not going to be there. There's a lot of really funny banter in it. He falls first, really hard. He falls first. So who is this book for? You're probably watching this and either you've already read it or you're kind of curious about reading it. So is this book for you? I don't think I have the same taste in romance as the majority of people who are on Bookstagram, Book Talk, BookTube. I'm not super into the spice. I'm not into the dark. You know, just all of it. That's not my style. This book is for somebody who likes closed door romance, you know, but there is some like steamy moments, and you know, there's some language at the beginning, but it's all, you know, it's very sweet. You don't see anything graphic. They do kiss. You know, they have to hold hands for the show and everything, but like, it's very closed door. So if that's more your vibe, this is a good one. People who like Christmas books. I know this is after Christmas, but if you celebrate Christmas in July and all of that good stuff, this is for you then. And I read this book about 2 weeks before Christmas, so it was like the perfect time of year too. My style of reading, like one of the tropes in romance books that just gets me is the fake dating. Love it, because I don't know, there's just something goofy, and you know, they're having fake feelings and then it becomes real, and it's just, I like it. So if you like the fake dating trope, this would be a great one for you. Also, it's a dual first person narrative. So there's a chapter with Finn and there's a chapter with Olive, and back and forth, which is pretty common, I think, in romance books. The chapters are labeled with, this is Finn's chapter, this is Olive's chapter. It's not you're reading the first couple paragraphs guessing whose chapter it is, which does happen. Also, like I said before, the banter, it was so cute. It was so funny. I was laughing. I had like secondhand embarrassment. It was just really good. Also, the supporting characters were really nice. Like Finn's best friend. It'd be cute if Juliana Smith did like a spin-off with him. Like there were so many opportunities. Olive's brother and sister-in-law, they were both really cute. The mom, the dad, I did guess the twist or the reveal. I probably guessed it around like 35% and it came into like 90%. So I kind of guessed it, but that part's fun. So then you're guessing correctly. So it is time for my rating. So drum roll, please. I gave this book 4 stars. It was really cute. It made me happy. It made me smile. And it was a very, very quick read. I think I read it in about 24 hours with, life happening and work and, and so it was still a very quick read. It was very fast paced. Some of the reviews that I've seen on Goodreads say that it was like too fast paced. It felt too rushed, blah, blah, blah. But no, I think it was fine for the time span that was given to them. Finn has the 12 dates of Christmas. And so, within that 12 dates of Christmas, they're going to fall in love. So knowing that going into it, that's the timeline, and you have to be okay with it in a way. Like, yes, it was rushed, but it also wasn't. I've seen weirder things happen in real life than people falling in love in 2 weeks or less. Okay. Chapters 1, chapter 2, I was kind of like, this is not what I expected it to be. And chapter 3 and 4, that's really where I started started investing a little bit more in the book because, well, Olive and Finn got like goofy drunk on a plane, and it's kind of like, who does that? So anyway, that's when I started getting into it because it was just kind of silly and fun. And also Olive's like 25, Finn's 27. So that was like a relatable age to me and a stage of life that they're in. All of their siblings, are married and their parents are retiring or just about to. And it's like, okay, so moving on to the review. Finn he's so sweet. He's goals. If I met him in real life, I'd kind of be like, really, really? But in rom-com world, it was beautiful. It was cute. He was happy. He was uplifting. And he made Olive see herself finally. He saw her for the beautiful human that she is and made her start realizing that and pulled her back out of her shell. Finn's just the perfect book boyfriend in my eyes. He fell first. He's doing the 12 dates of Christmas. He's really winning her over. He's great with the family. And honestly, he's a ride or die guy for Olive. Truly. So like I said before, initially Olive says no to his fake dating idea because you just met the stranger and got drunk with him. You don't know. But then he shows up to her family dinner and he looks great in a suit, and that kind of wins her over to the idea of, okay, we can play this game for 2 weeks. We can play this for 12 days. It was very, you can picture it as a movie. It was really great that way. But Olive was barely making it through that dinner, and it's like he had sixth sense or something, and he could just tell. He came and he saved her in a way, and it was, okay, so I guess damsel in distress almost as well, but whatever. But he comes and saves her, the damsel in distress, and that's kind of how it is throughout the whole book. He cares about her well-being. He cares about, how she's doing around her family because he knows there's something rough there but can't figure out what it is. But he wants to look after her and make sure she's okay. He asks her in several different situations are you okay? Do you want to leave? If she says no, he's alrighty, we're just gonna drive around in my car. Just gets her out of the situation, which that's the kind of guy you need sometimes. It's a good guy. But I think the best part about Finn, besides the ride or die safety, he sees Olive for who she is and that she's beautiful, and some people might think she's like weird or stuck up or anything. He sees her for who she is and being goofy and fun and all this stuff. And so he gets that and he immediately sees it. And also, even though it's a closed door romance, he like immediately gets the hot for it. And so part of the fun is, like with the dual narrative, is you get to hear him, like in his thoughts, or read him, see, in his thoughts, being like, oh man, she looks good in that dress. Or there's one scene where she's like up on his shoulders and he's like, I'm trying not to think about this because I'm in front of her family and a boner right now would be really embarrassing. It is just cute. So even though it's like a closed door, it's still sexy. It's not peachy, but it's also not like rated R 19 and up. Okay, now on to Olive. What a character to unpack, right? Like, oh my gosh. At first, I thought she was just like really weird. There was also a trigger warning but Olive's just like a really complex character, and you find out that she has this like argument with her sister like 3 years ago on Christmas or around Christmas. But you can see as the book progresses how Olive is trying to piece her confidence in herself back little by little through Finn's help, honestly, and then also through her own. And that's also done by, her mom talks to Finn and says, oh, Olive would have like loved skiing, or that's, like my happy Olive, always optimistic and blah, 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 and did not, like care what other people thought about her. And then the unspoken part is, the whole argument happened and Olive just like crumbled. But Olive has this whole obsession with looking perfect and being put together, and she dyes her hair and buys expensive makeup and always has the perfect makeup on, even at the gym. Like the right clothes, all of this. And it's a bit much. She's so set on looking like she's put together and puts on a happy face and like her life is going great. And so then she complains multiple times throughout the book if she didn't have to wear these shoes, like these specific shoes, her feet wouldn't hurt and she'd be having more fun and blah, blah, blah. And all of that compounded just hurt so much, seeing somebody whose self-confidence is reflected back on their appearance. It hurts. It hurts as a reader, and you're like, Olive, you're so much more than that. But she has to go through it. But this part also was really relatable, being at this age, being in your profession. It's like people won't take you seriously. So that also helped the story, at least from my perspective, because I felt kind of what she was feeling and doing, and it made sense. Her family's really intense on Christmas, like really, really, really intense, almost a bit too much, but she seemed to be happy as long as she didn't have to like hang out with her sister and her sister's husband. Okay, so now on to the good part, the smiley face of the book. The things that I really liked. The third act breakup. I think it's a trope. It's very common. Was it necessary? No. Did it make it good in the story? Of course. It was so sweet. Finn ran through the airport, booked a seat next to her on her flight back to Palm Springs when she freaked out. And adorable. Like, that is why Finn is one of the world's best book boyfriends that I've had to date, at least to me. But it was a cute way for Finn to proclaim his love to Olive. I'm glad it was added in. And it did feel very Christmassy. It felt very Christmassy. The whole airplane rush, third act breakup scenes will always just have a very special place in my heart. And I don't know if I'll ever be sick of that trope. And it doesn't matter how cheesy they are either. Like, rom-com books are going to be cheesy. And that's okay. You just have to be okay with that if you're reading them. Okay, and like I said before, there were some reviews that said the relationship was rushed. Did it feel kind of rushed? A little bit? It did. Just a little bit. You have 12 days. You've essentially 2 weeks. They have to fall in love in that timeline. The part in the epilogue, like where they moved in together, essentially after like a month of knowing each other. That part was not cool. Maybe she lived with her parents for a while. I don't know. But it sounds like she just immediately moved in with Finn, but maybe that was kind of more like she was hanging out at his house a couple nights. I don't know. If you had a friend do that in real life, you'd be side-eyeing and being like, so blink twice. Now, the frowny face of the book. The parts I didn't like. The sister. Oh my gosh. Okay, spoilers if you've made it this far, but oh my gosh. The sister slept with Olive's boyfriend 3 years ago because it was instant love. We met each other at dinner and then we knew we were in love, and so we couldn't keep our hands off each other, so we just had to have sex on the kitchen island of our parents' house. And so Olive had to walk in and see that, and you go, it's not what it looks like. And then Olive's family, okay, you know, they're upset, but then they accept him because a year after that happened, essentially like a year after that, the sister and the ex-boyfriend get married. It seems like an unspoken code. Maybe have talked to your sister about this. And I get that like it had to happen for the book, but oh my gosh. And then just for everybody to be like hunky-dory, and Logan, the ex-boyfriend, he's like, oh yeah, Olive's great in this way and blah blah blah, talking to Finn, and Finn has no idea. We're in the dark with Finn, and it's not cool. It's not. At the beginning of the book, there's a content warning for food sensitivity, eating disorders, and body dysmorphia. Olive struggles with that, and you can see it throughout the book. She struggles. You know, I eat a tiny sliver of pie with my family for dessert, and I have to go spend 3 hours at the gym the next day. And you see it continually. What kind of got me is more, we didn't see any character growth that way. We didn't see her kind of accepting and working to have a healthy relationship with food and exercise. We didn't get to see that as readers. Essentially, in the epilogue 3 months later, so March, April, that was another thing that kind of irritated me. The epilogue was 3 months. I wish it had been like 6 months or the following Christmas, something, but the 3 months, it was just too short. All you get with her healing is from Finn's perspective, because the epilogue's in Finn's perspective, being like, she's working on it. And also, there was no resources at the end that I saw. I didn't look too horribly far. There might have been. I didn't see any type of resources or anything, especially on that content warning page, where people could go. That part also, it needed a little something. If it is going to have this in the book, there needs to be some type of character development with it, or story development. Don't just leave it as it's happening. More of, let's help her grow from it. Just like with the ex-boyfriend issue, the food sensitivity felt like it was brushed under the rug once again. Okay, and finally, Olive lied to her family about having a boyfriend. She felt so different from her family. She had to lie and then come up with another lie to cover the lie. And I don't think her family even knew that she actually wasn't dating Finn beforehand. That whole part is still a mystery. Like, the family never got the truth, I believe. Maybe they did and I didn't pay attention. That's on me. And I get it. Without that lie, the whole book would not have existed, because then Finn wouldn't have wanted to be her fake boyfriend. You know, all of this stuff. But it's like, she, one, could have used him as an excuse to get out of family Christmas by like me and go to his family or something. And two, like, having a significant other doesn't solve an actual problem. That equation of like, oh, if you have a significant other, you're perfectly fine. That one was a bit rougher for me. That wasn't a cool idea for her family to have. But it's also very realistic. A lot of families, especially around Christmas time, want children that they have who are single and grown adults. They're like, hey, have you met anybody? You know, blah, blah, blah. I can set you up with it. It's a whole thing. And so I understand why Olive did it, but also her family shouldn't have pushed her if she wasn't okay. but without the push, the whole book wouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Wrapping it up, was it worth the read? Yes, it was worth the read. It was so cute. It was really fun. And it was a Christmas book. It was a quick read. Great. I recommend it. If any of the, like, who is this book for, matches anything that you like reading, read it. It's great. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's really fun. And also the cover art is phenomenal. Like, gorgeous. So I also just quickly wanted to give an author shout out to Juliana Smith. She has 3 other books out that are all also fluffy rom-coms. I Can Fix That, per my last email, and Signed, Sealed, and Delivered. So all of those have been added to my TBR. They're all available on Kindle Unlimited. Go check them out. So all 4 of her books are available, and I believe she's working on a 5th one right now. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this book review, consider giving this video a like. I would really appreciate it. And if you're looking for more bookworm, bookish content like this, where we can just talk and hang out and just have a great little time, consider subscribing to my page. I really do appreciate it, and thank you. And so thank you so much for watching this book review of Baggage Claim by Juliana Smith, rated 4 stars. I hope you go and read it if you haven't read it already. If you have, share some of your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm actually really hoping a lot of people start reading this because it is cute. But anyways, so I will see you next time, and let's freaking do this. Yeah.